Retro.
Hey, this is Catherine Tabor, Senator Padme Amidala from Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Jay and Dennis on Podcast Stardust. Stay on the light side.
Hello there, Star Wars fans. I'm Jay Krebs.
And I'm Dennis Keithley.
And this is another fully armed and operational edition of Podcast Stardust, the galaxy's source for Star Wars news, reviews, and discussion. So before we begin this episode, Dennis, can you give everyone a reminder of where our listeners can find us on social media?
All right. We can be located on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust.
Easy enough. Today on Podcast Stardust, episode 940. Today we are bringing you our special monthly feature called World Between Worlds, a mystical dimension that connects Star Wars fashion and lifestyle products to your space and time. The goal is to bring you a wide variety of ideas for products to surround you, outfit you, and bind your style sense together, kind of like the Force. So this month, I've rounded up such a great array of stuff, you won't be able to repel Star Wars merch power of this magnitude. But first, Dennis and I always do a rundown of any new Star Wars gets or any updates to some current products that we have previously snagged. So as usual, Dennis, I'll let you take the floor first. Anything new, anything fun, any updates?
I was talking about my Darth Vader ice molds a few episodes of World Between Worlds ago, and how much I was enjoying them. And I was pleasantly surprised by my wife with another gift. This time it was the Stormtrooper ice molds. She happened to be going to Williams Sonoma to look for something, and so she went by that little Star Wars section, and she found these, and so she brought them home. So what these are these are little ice molds, silicone, that you can just pour water in, stick in your freezer for about 8 hours, and you get a nice big cocktail ice cube out of it. And the Darth Vader one obviously looks like Darth Vader's helmet. These look like Stormtrooper helmets. And I think the joke I texted you, Jay, was, they're perfect for cocktails because they can't make any shots.
But
yeah, right. But the description that you can find on the Williams Sonoma website is that they're shaped like stormtroopers. These oversized ice molds bring a powerful chill, literally and figuratively, to cocktails. The cylindrical silicone molds create large sculptural ice cubes that melt slowly and evenly, so drinks stay chilled but not watered down. They're easy to use. Simply fill with water and freeze. To release, you just squeeze the mold. That's not accurate. You pull the little silicone out of the plastic sleeve and then basically turn it inside out, and then you got your ice cube.
Yeah.
They are correct in saying that the sturdy, flexible silicone molds release the ice cubes quickly and easily. That's pretty much the case. And then the advantage of using these large ice cubes is that they melt slower than if you use multiple ice cubes in your drink, so you don't dilute the flavor of your cocktail. And you get 2 of these. I like them quite a bit. I found that it took me using each one at least once to get a really good ice cube out of it. I have no idea why that is. The first one was a bit rounded and the features weren't as pronounced. But the second time I used it, it really produced a very nice Stormtrooper sculpt out of the ice. And ever since then, I've been getting this same really great result. So I don't know if the silicone just needed to be broken in, or if that's even a thing, or the situation was, but I'm really enjoying these. I've used, I just kind of grab one between these and the Darth Vader molds out of their freezer and use those for my drinks all the time. And probably got more use out of this than anything else as of late. So I highly recommend these.
That is awesome. Yeah, those are always nice to have around. And, the silicone molds are so great. I have a smaller set, and it's just a tray of Stormtrooper heads. And I actually use that to make frozen yogurt treats for my dogs.
Oh, there you go.
It's like six Stormtrooper heads in the one tray. And I believe I might have gotten that at Williams and Sonoma, or somebody got it for me from Williams and Sonoma. So, but yeah, that's perfect for, filling up and then giving to the puppers, so I can, express some Star Wars fandom that way too.
Yeah.
Very good to
Yeah.
have around.
But it's fun at the end of the week when I make myself a cocktail to pull one of those out and just, just another way to engage with the fandom.
Heck yeah. Beth always does such a good job of
Oh
keeping
yeah,
you
she spoils me.
yes,
There's no
yeah,
doubt about it. I mean,
keeping you in
yeah,
the Star Wars things.
yeah, she gets way more from me than I get from myself at this point, and I kind of like it that way. So, I mean, we were just talking about on our
Yeah.
news episode that you attach these memories to certain things, and and I've got a lot of memories from a lot of this stuff because she gave it to me for various reasons, and so yeah, that's part of the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so fantastic, truly. Well, good. Glad you're enjoying those. So, yeah, speaking of sentimental value for things, a few episodes of World Between Worlds ago, I had mentioned that one of the custodians at the school where I worked had given me a vintage Darth Vader mug and very, very interesting design, very much elongated, I guess you could say, Darth Vader style. And I said, you know what? I might end up using this as a little planter. So I ended up finally getting some little like fake succulent, faux succulent picks at Hobby Lobby. And it looks so good. It's in my living room right now, and it's just got Darth Vader with succulents coming out of the top of his helmet. And so it's just a fun little way to express, your fandom in a home decor kind of way. And I'm sure it will be a conversation piece for anyone that walks by it as well.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
like the way you use that. That's pretty clever.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that as well. And so, I had mentioned that I think there's a couple available on eBay, but that's about the only place that I've seen those since. But also another thing, timely for the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past, debuting this Friday on Disney Plus. I found a Darth Vader Lego digital clock. I was cleaning out, this whole story already because we were talking about this off air. I had a little mishap in my cosplay room where my closet completely fell apart, and we had this big boom, and it was like, well, I guess I should probably rearrange some things in here. But I found a bag in there of some things that a student of mine actually gave me a couple of years ago, and I was very appreciative of it. But I just sort of like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, so I just set it aside. So the Lego clock that I found is a digital LCD clock, and it is Darth Vader as a Lego figure. It's 9.5 inches tall, has movable arms and legs, has an alarm and snooze functions, and a light up display. Takes two AAA batteries. And so I put some batteries in it, and I'd sent you the picture the one day. And it was like, oh, this is perfect. So I have my little digital clock for my cosplay room now to go with the rest of my decor. And I tried to find this online, and it's currently unavailable through any retailers, but I did find one on eBay for $25 out of the box, and then one new in the box for $45. So if there's anybody that is very much interested in a Lego Star Wars Darth Vader LCD clock for their abode, that's where you should go. But it was a fun find.
Yeah, I would say must have been a fun discovery. I
Yeah.
know I've seen that or maybe a 3PO version of that clock. I can't remember, but in the past. And but that's just fun. And I can't help but look at that Vader and kind of think of the way they always portray him on those Lego specials, which is just kind
Right.
of, a shade goofier than what we get out of Darth Vader in the movies, or several shades, I should say. But fun
Hmm.
fun discovery.
Yeah, yeah. So nothing really new, but kind of new to me. Like you said, it's
Sure.
those fun little discoveries. It's kind of like finding $10 in your pants pocket, when you're doing your laundry kind of thing. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Indeed.
we'll enjoy it for sure. So speaking of Lego, we've got some new products going on here. And first one, I guess it's never too early to start talking about the Christmas season, right? I mean, retailers are already 3 seasons ahead, but there is a brand new for this year gingerbread AT-AT or AT-AT, however you want to pronounce it for yourself. Walker set from Lego for $59.99, and this one's going to be coming out October 1st. So I'm just going to read this from the website. It says, this Christmas craft building set features an AT-AT with gingerbread house style decoration and a gingerbread Darth Vader Lego minifigure. Pose the legs of the AT-AT, open the cockpit, and flip up the sides of the main compartment to reveal the cozy interior. There's a seat by the fireplace for Darth Vader, a table, drinking cup, cookie, and candy cane elements, stockings hanging on the wall, a pile of gifts, and other festive accessories for creative play. This building kit offers a fun Christmas activity for young Star Wars fans. I say any fan. Make their creative experience extra fun with the Lego Builder app, which lets you zoom in and rotate a digital 3D version of the gingerbread AT-AT as you build. And this set contains 697 pieces. What a fun little set. And I know you are a big Lego aficionado, Dennis. So
Yeah.
what do you think of this? And is this something that you would want to add to your Lego collection?
Oh, I wouldn't say no to it. That's for certain. It is a fun little set, and I can tell you there'll be people buying this just for the minifig, the Darth Vader, the gingerbread Darth Vader alone,
Yeah.
which I'm sure will catch quite a price on resale on the eBay and the like. But this is fun that they're doing this. I mean, Lego is so creative with their ideas on this, and just when you think of the Lego Rebuild the Galaxy type stuff and the sets that they've put together with that just reimagine all kinds of things that we know about Star Wars. This is such a no-brainer for them to do something like this. But this is neat. I mean, the traditional AT-AT you're not going to get for $60
Mm-hmm.
right now. You're going to be paying more for that. But this is fun. This is really cool to see that they're doing stuff like that. I don't know what caused them to come up with this, but I would suspect I could find similar things that people have done with Lego. I follow a number of accounts on Instagram like that, and people are always coming up with really cool things. But they really embraced all kinds of holiday goodness with this one.
Oh yeah, I mean from the candy canes on the cannons to the little red bows down by the feet of the AT-AT, and then some stringed lights and the like. I mean but I agree with you. Like I would love to have that little minifig, and it's
Yeah,
too bad that they wouldn't sell that by itself because that is definitely something that would be a lot of fun to have for sure.
right.
But that next to your milk and cookies. There you
Hmm.
go. But if you need your Lego holiday fix a little sooner than October 1st, you can actually pick up the 2025 Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar on the website right now. And this one is $44.99. And this year's Advent Calendar actually features droids, which is very exciting because you know me, Dennis, I love me the droids. So you can play out all kinds of festive droid adventures. And I know that this is something that you typically do get every year.
Yeah, we didn't do it last year. This was something these are fun. They really are fun. Advent calendars in general are having that little prize to do every day. And it is something I'm very nostalgic for because we did this so many years with my boys. But then
Hmm.
it just kind of got to be, they're making high school and college and stuff like that, that all of a sudden on Christmas Eve, we discovered we had like 10 days to do because we just fell behind. It wasn't something that was always front of mind. These are fun things to get to build out your minifig collection. Those are the most fun parts. They'll typically also have a number of mini models that they'll make that are in there. I mean, I have the Razor Crest from a couple different advent calendars, two different versions of that. The light cruiser that Moff Gideon had, and one of the of Boba Fett's starfighter things from these various advent calendars sitting right in front of me on my
That's
desk
so
that I've
cool.
kept.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of the holiday versions of the minifigs sitting in one of my drawers. And so I'll pull those out as we get closer to Christmas, kind of decorate the office a little bit with those. But like I said, these are little great little builder things. It's fun to have that little bit of Lego and Star Wars every day as you're getting closer to the holidays. But it's also fun just to have these things as just kind of fill out your collection of minifigs, especially the rare ones. And
Mhm.
I mentioned that a lot of people would buy that gingerbread AT-AT just for the gingerbread Darth Vader. There's a lot of people that get these just for the 3 or 4 minifigs that are unique to them that they'll be getting. And you've got a art or C3PO with different colored eyes, and an astromech, a mouse droid, a Jawa wearing a holiday sweater in this one.
Yes.
Yeah, there's lots of great little pieces in this collection.
Yes, and I love the little BB-8 snowman with the little black top hat too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they always come up with some really fun whimsical ideas for all of these things, which is super cool. And I love that, of course, like you said, you have so many memories attached to these as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we'd usually have like 2 advent calendars, and then the kids could take turns opening, each day. They'd switch off who got to do one. So,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, lots of fun. And like I said, it's I've got a holiday Darth Vader. I think wearing a Christmas sweater in a drawer over here somewhere. But
That's so
uh,
fun.
yeah, definitely.
I love that. Well, the Christmas fun never ends, I guess, here. And I originally, when I was looking for things for the episode, I was running across one or two things here and there, and then I kept getting so many things on my Instagram feed of all of these new releases coming out for the holiday season. And this next one, oh my gosh, Home Depot has a new 7.5 foot animated Chewbacca available for your abode. So it is currently available to purchase for $349, and you can ship it to your store. So you can go pick it up there or directly to your personal docking bay. And so if you go to the website, you can see all kinds of illustrations available that shows all the animatronic Wookiee goodness that is this Christmassy Chewy. But what kind of surprised me about this is that it is an indoor use only. So I hope you have tall ceilings, because that is a very tall piece of decor to be putting into your house. And not only that, but he also has additional height whenever he's wearing his festive Santa hat. So he actually goes all the way up to 8.2 feet. So 8 feet 2 inches tall. And then with the stand and everything that comes with him, so Chewbacca himself is not just 7 feet, it's 7.7 feet, even without it. So this is an indoor use only, and it is a one-person assembly, and it says you can put him together in 30 minutes. There's a plug-in power adapter included. There is also a timer, so if you want to make sure that you keep the nighttime antics at bay, you can set your timer for a 6-hour on, 18-hour off cycle. And according to Home Depot, this also pairs great with the 7-foot animated LED Darth Vader on sale for $299.99, and the 6-foot animated Stormtrooper also for $299.99, and the 3.5-foot animated LED R2D2. However, that one I couldn't even find that one on the website, but the Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper both have some very festive things. So Darth Vader's lightsaber is a candy cane, and so the blaster that the Stormtrooper is holding is also a candy cane. There are Santa hats available, and then Vader's also holding an ornament of the Death Star in one hand as well. So if you are looking for some ways to fill up your house, whew, this is crazy. But it's a trigger motion sensor with 3 movements on Chewy and 5 classic Chewbacca sound effects. His mouth and arms move, and his head has a servo motor technology for smooth, lifelike movements that will leave your guests in awe. He also comes with a satchel that has candy canes and a festive Santa hat, like I said, to get him in the holiday spirit. So, wow, this is at the upper echelon of Christmas decor, especially for the inside of your house. But what do you think? Would you want a Chewy in your house?
No, this is
You're
cool.
like, no.
Well, look, I mean, I have a ton of Star Wars Christmas decorations. I have Star Wars nutcrackers, and I have a little stuffed stormtrooper with a hat on it that I put next to the fireplace, and I've got a lot of Star Wars ornaments and things like this. This is nice, and look, I mean, if it's something you have room for in your house, great. I just don't know where I'd put it, and I don't think my dogs would ever stop barking at it
Right.
when it's all said and done. And yeah, I mean, it's just as and I don't know what else I would do with it outside. I mean, I could throw it in my storage bin. I have an offsite storage. I could put it there, but yeah, it's just it's huge.
It is.
I don't dislike it. It's just that that's just a lot. I think that really it's just a bit overwhelming. So Yeah,
Yes.
that just wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, the storage in and of itself, I think, would be very challenging. But if anybody owns any of these other ones that I mentioned, the Vader, the Stormtrooper, the R2D2, please let us know and how you like it. And yeah, it's just it's insane. But I mean, hey, if I guess if the Star Wars person in your life has everything and this is something that you want to get yourself or gift it, then why not?
Right,
But
right.
yeah, it's crazy. Well, something a little smaller for ornamental kind of things, and we've already alluded to the new line of the 2025 Hallmark Keepsake ornaments. So if you go to the Hallmark site, you can check all of those out, including not just the keepsake ornaments, but just the new array of 2025. Which, again, I think my favorite one of this year is the Darth Nihilus ornament that is just so much different than everything else. But yeah, there's so many great things. But the one thing that actually caught my eye on the Hallmark website is the battle on Mustafar Drinking Glass. So this immediately, of course, because it's this year is our discussion of Revenge of the Sith for its 20th anniversary, it reminded me of those old collectible tumblers that you would see from things like Burger King, DQ, McDonald's, that kind of thing. And the artwork on it is just reminiscent, I feel like, of that. But it's, as you can guess, it's the battle of Mustafar between Obi-Wan and Anakin. And it's $12.99 and it's sold separately from different collectible glasses sets that they have. And I didn't even know that they had these, so I thought these are really cool. So there's a Jedi drinking glasses set of 4, and with all of these, there's actually other sets available. There's 3 collections in all, and you can get each one of those collections for $44.99. So they feature artwork. One collection, for example, has all of the Jedi with their lightsabers. So you have Obi-Wan with his blue lightsaber, Luke with the green, Anakin with his blue lightsaber, and then Rey with her yellow lightsaber. And then there's also another set that has more of a artistic, I guess you could say, representation of some of the different Jedi as well. So it's very monochromatic color wise. And so if that's something that you want to get for your kitchen, that's pretty cool. So they're 12-ounce glasses and you can complete the collection with all of those. So you have to just make sure you hand wash them though. You don't want to put these into your dishwasher. But yeah, that's the first thing I thought of was those old collectible glasses. Do you remember those?
Yes, and I know we had some when I was growing up, and they're long gone at this point. But I would they haven't done this for a while, but Alamo Drafthouse was doing the collectible glasses for years,
Hmm.
with in relation to a lot of the Star Wars and Marvel type movies and things like that. Collected a bunch of those, but then again, we were just talking about collections on our last news episode at the end of that episode. So go check that out if you haven't done so. But it was like one of those things was taking up all the space in the cabinet and they just weren't ever really getting used. So,
Yeah.
it's something that we just kind of stopped doing. If I had those original like Burger King glasses from all those years ago, it would be fun to kind of continue that collection and like find a place to like really display them. But
Hmm.
since I don't, it's just you know, only so much space to do things with. And if you're not going to be drinking out of them, then, you got to decide if that's something you want to take up the space with them. So,
Yeah, for sure. I
yeah.
have the whole set of the Return of the Jedi glasses from Burger
Oh, well,
King.
there you go.
Yeah, so that's one of the again, talking about collections and some of the things that we have in our collections. Yeah, I have those in like packed away in bubble wrap in my basement. So, these are the kinds of things that I really should start pulling out because why not enjoy them, if you have
Right.
them. But like you said too, I mean, it's also where are you going to store them, where are you going to put them? And, if you're not using them as everyday drinking glasses or, what if you're entertaining or whatever, you may not want to use Star Wars glasses, and there's only so much cupboard space, unfortunately. So, but yeah, it was very reminiscent of those, and that's why I think it caught my eye. So head over to Hallmark if you're interested, and if anybody has some of these or some of those old ones that we were just talking about, please let us know. A lot of fun.
Indeed.
All right. Well, it's not winter yet, at least not in this part of the galaxy. So if you're still trying to sneak in as many outside activities as possible and you happen to play golf, I have a few ideas other than this one, but first one, as I alluded to, golf. So Volvik USA has a Star Wars Darth Vader golf ball set, and you actually have two options with this one. And Volvik is spelled Volvik. All these links are going to be in our show notes, by the way. So if you hear anything that you're interested in, please make sure you head over and check those out. So with the golf ball set, you have two different options. There's a 4-ball gift set that includes 2 red and 2 white golf balls, plus a collectible Darth Vader ball marker / hat clip. And that one is $26.99. And then there's a 6-ball pack. These are all white golf balls, plus a collectible Darth Vader ball marker / hat clip. And that one is $28.99. Also in kind of a cool little box, though, not gonna lie. So they are what I know nothing about golf balls, so I'm just going to read this right from the description. So if any of y'all play golf out there, hopefully this will resonate with you. So the Vivid Soft features nano bismuth dual core built for explosive distance and razor sharp control off every club. A new is it 12 or I2 cover, highly durable with enhanced spin and feel around the green. A soft matte finish, patented coating for a uniquely smooth touch and bold non-glare visibility, a 322 dimple design, which is aerodynamically optimized for stable ball flight and pinpoint accuracy, and a 70 compression, which delivers the perfect blend of soft feel and powerful performance. And lastly, bold colors. So again, those red and white finishes to dominate the fairways in style. So there you have it. Pretty cool looking golf balls though. And I do, like I said, I do like the boxes that they're in. So I mean, if you like the 4-ball gift set, you can just gift it to yourself. But do you play golf?
No, I don't play golf. If I did, I'd get these. But these are really cool. But I especially like the red ones. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean they're cool. I don't golf. I mean, once every couple of years I go to Top Golf and hit some golf balls, but I'm
Hmm.
not going to take
Hmm.
those there because I'd never get them back.
Right.
But yeah, no, these are cool, and it just goes to show you can license Star Wars and put it on anything these days.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know anything about golf ball brands, and I know people are very particular about that, about what kind they
Hmm.
use.
Hmm.
So I don't know if Volvik is a great brand or not, but the
Yeah.
one person who rated these on the website gave them 5 stars. So there you go.
Yep, yep, and they are new. I mean, this is a pretty much a brand new product that's out there. But yeah, speaking of being very particular about equipment, very similar to we've bowled all of our lives, and it's amazing how specific some people are like. Oh, bowling balls are bowling balls. No, they're not.
Mhm.
So I can definitely relate to that idea for sure. So, and if you know anybody that golfs that is a Star Wars fan, again, thinking about the holidays, I guess it's never too early to start chipping away at that gift list too. So there you go. Once again, Volvik.com. So, one more outdoorsy kind of thing. If you're taking your favorite fur buddy out for a stroll, you can check out Chewy. They have a line of 4 different adjustable harnesses to hit the sidewalk or trails in Galactic style. So, I know we've covered a few things that Chewy has available from their Star Wars line in the past. And again, this one popped up on my Instagram, and it's been a while since we've talked about these. I know there's a couple new designs in here as well. So I figured, yeah, why not? We'll get them into this particular month. So these are actually made by a company called Sassy Woof. Love that, or Sassy Woof. And so they're $32.99 a piece. So there's 4 different styles available. So you have the dark side dog harness, which is a black harness featuring some images of Darth Vader and some stormtroopers. It's got some red in there as well. We have our Star Wars The Child dog harness. So as you can imagine, got little Grogu all over the place on this one. So it's got some almost like a lime greenish color with some lighter tans and beiges and lots of different designs on that one. And then the Rebel Alliance dog harness. And this one has, as you can probably guess, a lot of different images from the Rebellion. So speaking of Chewy, Chewy is featured on this one as well. And this one is more of a brown trim, and it's got some red, fun, stylized Star Wars things. There's even some porgs on here, BB-8, Lots of fun stuff. And then the last one is the Mandalorian dog harness. And this one has a blue, darker blue, royal blue kind of outline with a lighter aqua blue. And it's got some Jawas and once again Grogu and the Mandalorian and some fun little other whimsical designs. And these are all available for $32.99. And they have a size chart available so you can figure out exactly what size your pooch might need. And these go depending on the type of harness that you get, all the way up to an extra large. And once again, if you check that website, you can figure out what the size chart looks like. And they also have a few Star Wars leashes and collars available on the site and a couple festive options. So one that I found was the Mandalorian the Child Pumpkin dog leash. So we haven't even talked about Halloween yet, but this one is actually very cheap right now. It's currently on sale for anywhere from $5.66 to $6.11, depending on the size that you get for your pooch. So this one has some really fun little pumpkins with some spiders and spider webs, and then Grogu all over it, and then some frogs probably jumping to get out of his way so they don't, end up as snacks like some candy corn. So, and another thing I like about this one is on the hook, it says the child on it as well in the metal. So I thought that was a nice little touch there. And then there's also a holiday dog leash, which once again features the child, aka Grogu. And this one is on a gray background, and this one is more of your Christmas. So it's got Grogu kind of coming out of a box. Looks like a present in various areas. And then once again, frogs all over the place. So Grogu and frogs are synonymous with each other, I suppose. But this one is actually available in medium length only for $14.77. So once again, outfitting those little fur buddies in style through Chewy. Any of these look good to you?
Oh yeah. These would be fun to have if it didn't just replace leashes and stuff like that. I'd consider those for the dogs, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm like looking at these and going, which ones would actually match my dogs? The dark one with the Darth Vader helmet print on it, that'd be great. But then the other colors might clash with Loki, who's kind of got a reddish brown fur there. So anyway, no, but these are fun. I like this find.
Yes, and I tell you what, I would probably use this on Leia before Gunner, because Gunner, when I take him running, we have this type of harness called Sporn. And I will tell you, I swear by this thing because Gunner, he's not as bad as he used to be. I mean, he's getting pretty mellow in his 7 years, but he was a huge puller. And even as much as we ran together and everything, the Sporn collar just really, or harness keeps him really well adept. But I mean, I would still love to have one of these and also one of the leashes, because I just think the leashes, I mean, especially this Halloween one, I'm very tempted just to pick that one up, but we'll see.
Yeah, the problem I got with the
break down.
leashes is that Zeb gets in his life has been more than 80 pounds. So that's just outside the max weight that they're recommending here. So I don't know if that would be I don't know if that's really an issue or just something that they're saying for liability issues or what the situation is. But
yeah.
at any rate, I don't know that would work for him. But
Mhm.
they are very cute.
Yeah, it's totally fair. Fair enough, for sure. Well, if indoor activities are more your speed, Costco Wholesale Direct has actually just restocked their Star Wars Stern pinball machines. So this is definitely in that extravagant vein that we sometimes include here on World Between Worlds. So if you have basically $5,000, $1 shy of that, $4,999 that you would like to invest in a pinball machine, you can do that. And it is delivery only, and you do have to assemble it. And they do have a 50-mile radius of the warehouse that they specify for delivery. And but it is beautiful. So I actually found out about this through a post by Lucasfilm Disney artist Steve Anderson, who has very extensive Star Wars artistry background. And I actually have quite a few pieces of art by Steve. And once I saw it, I was like, oh, yep, this is totally his style. I have a huge Steve Anderson print in my bedroom, actually, that I got professionally framed from the Empire Strikes Back. And so this one is just a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, I was looking at all the pictures online. I actually played a similar machine last year at Cleveland Gaming Classic, and I reached out to Steve earlier today and I said, "Hey, I was doing these notes and I saw your post, and I'm going to talk about this tonight on the podcast. Did you also do this one?" Because I had a video of myself playing that particular pinball, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So
Ah,
have to get back to you on that one, but it looks very similar to his art style as well. But Stern Pinball is definitely synonymous with, the upper echelon of all pinball machines for sure. I love pinball. Pinball is definitely one of my very favorite things to do, and I could play for hours. So I would love to have a Star Wars pinball machine in my
mhm.
basement, my house, somewhere to play anytime I wanted. So I had to include this one.
Yeah, we had a pinball machine in my parents' house in the game room that I played a lot. It was not Star
Right.
Wars, but it was a lot of fun. We spent a lot of hours in that. And then I remember when I was in college, the student union arcade had an Indiana Jones pinball machine that I drowned a lot of quarters in between classes. This
Awesome.
is really, really cool. At the price tag, it's not, and I have
Right.
nowhere to put it. I mean, here in Texas, we don't have basements. If I had a basement, then I'd have a game room, and then it would be more of a possibility, but also not likely. But this is beautiful. You're right. This is a really, really nice machine, and would be a fantastic addition to anyone's collection that has such a thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so envious of people that have these type of pinball machines because again, you can just anytime you want to, you can just go down, no quarters required, and you can play. But yeah, there's just something about pinball that's just so wonderful.
Well, it's the
So
pinballs and just the classic games. Even the
yeah.
regular cabinets. The arcade games. My dad has a Galactic machine in his basement,
Oh
and
gosh, I love Galaga.
right. And so, whenever I visit, I'll go down there at random times and, play it 3 or 4 times. And if you get in a roll, you can play it forever. And it's,
Right.
but it's kind of like when I went to the Comic Con museum in San Diego and they had a Pac-Man room and I was playing Pac-Man and eventually just had to walk away from it because I hadn't played in so long. But
Hmm.
after like 5 or 6 levels, my arm and my wrist were sore from
Right.
moving that joystick all over the place, and so I was like, "I can't take this anymore," so I just left it, but, there's just something about that era of and style of games that this it gives you that nostalgia for, so,
Oh,
uh,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. I mean, heck, I remember going to those arcades, you'd go to the roller rink and they'd have the arcade or the movie theater and they'd have the
yeah,
arcades. And, you just, like you said, you just put a couple quarters in. And especially if you were waiting for the movie to start and you had already gotten your tickets and, somebody hold your popcorn for you while you put in a couple of rounds here or there. Yeah, definitely a lot of nostalgia with that for sure. Ah,
indeed.
fun little trip down memory lane. I love it. I love it. So, one more household decor item of note. So, this actually just dropped September 16th, which is yesterday. And it's from Regal Robot, which again, we have covered on World Between Worlds slash Podcast Stardust before. And Regal Robot has so many really cool type of molded designs. They even have chairs and furniture and just really big statement pieces for the home. And so they actually have two new bronze bust statues available in their Regal Icons line, immortalizing two iconic characters, Princess Leia and Grand Moff Tarkin. And I have to tell you, Dennis, the detail on these both are incredible. I mean, from the individual strands of hair on Leia's bunned head to Moff Tarkin's wrinkles and
Uh-huh.
even the lines in their fabrics that they're wearing, the detail in their faces, everything is just exquisite. So each one of these is $49 a piece and they are about 6 to 7 inches tall, depending on which one you get, with what Regal Robot calls a quote unquote weighty feel, but the weight is not specified on the site. But being a bronze bust, I can imagine that they've got some heft. And it's actually the first wave of some more Regal Icons busts to come. And one, speaking of Indiana Jones, includes Indiana Jones, and then 2 more whose details have not yet been revealed. So these you can display on a bookshelf. I actually would almost want to use these, if I had room, kind of like bookends, you could use them in that regard. But very, very cool looking bust statues.
Yeah, I was surprised that they're only $49.
I
I was expecting a
know.
heftier price tag with that. I was like, "Boy, Jay, we're going all kinds of expensive stuff in this episode after the pinball machine." But now I was like, "Oh, 49. Okay,
Right.
that's pretty cool." Yeah, this is exceptional quality. Just looking at the pictures on the website, you're right. The amount of detail they worked into there it's just classic looking.
It truly is. So again, it's one of those unique kind of things. You don't see this every day. So if you have a mantle, you can put it on your mantle, all kinds of fun stuff. So check out Regal Robot for that. And then moving on, we've got a couple fashion finds to wrap up this episode of World Between Worlds. So one of the companies that I've covered, it's been a while, but it's BenaeQuee Creations, and this one's spelled BenaeQuee. And this is an independent and small business that has some different items like handbags, totes, backpacks, sling bags, key fobs, wallets, even con badges, and work ID holders. And the thing that caught my eye that's new on her website is called the Space Friends eyeglass holder case in pink toile. So toile is just essentially a all over print that's in the same color. So this one is very evocative of the old kind of China prints that you might see on China plates and that type of thing, or very early American sorts of things, even wallpaper, if you kind of go that route with it. But what really caught my eye on this one is obviously the pink aspect of it. So it's Star Wars, but it's also feminine. So you've got things like Chewbacca. I love the Chewbacca and Lando. They're kind of sitting on the grass back to back, and then you've got all these beautiful little meadow scenes and floral things. So you've also got Rey with her staff. There's also like a bonsai tree on here. You got Boba Fett looking, very much at peace next to a tree. I mean, there's just a lot of really fun images on here. Kylo Ren's even on here. Even Emperor Palpatine is looking, very fun by this tree. It's also kind of Japanese feeling in a lot of ways, just because I think of the pink, it reminds me of cherry blossoms. But
Mhm.
you've also got things like Darth Maul, Stormtrooper, a little representation of the Death Star. You've got R2D2 and C3PO, Han Solo's on here. So there's just a ton of different iconic kinds of characters. And then it has a zipper pouch that you can put your sunglasses or your eyeglasses in. So I just thought this was a really nice little item, because I know for me personally, like I have tons of readers now sitting around my house. So, and they always seem, I get like the cheap ones from Dollar General, but I'm always setting them down someplace. And then right where I need to see, they all get scratched up. So I think if I would get into the habit of just putting them into a holder case, I would be so much better off instead of just throwing them around everywhere. But if you get a chance to head to the website, she even has matching things like lanyards to go with these. So if you're looking for a set, I love the work ID holders, and there's just tons of different Star Wars types of things available. So if you're like me and you need someplace good to keep your eyeglasses, that might do the trick.
Yeah, so all of these things that they printed on this are Star Wars images that Star Wars fans are going to recognize. The First Order Stormtrooper, that was an image used in tons of products when The Force Awakens was coming out. The pose of Rey with her staff, same thing. That is very classic Boba Fett from the Empire Strikes Back era that we've seen, the way he's standing there. What makes it different is what you pointed out, is all the little, that it's in pink. It looks like a line drawing, and you got all this like organic imagery around it. The Death Star with petals and leaves around
Right.
it, and otherwise you will recognize all these images. I've seen all of them in marketing and on other products in the past, but just the way that they collected them all here, put it in pink, it's the Emperor in pink cracks me up. But
Right.
even Captain Phasma, I recognize that pose. The Darth Maul. I can't. I would name a product, but they were used on lots of different products here. But now you're getting them all on this thing and that style, and it's a very clever use of all those things.
Yeah, I agree. I think my favorite image on this is the one, like I said at the very beginning, the Lando and Chewy just
Yeah.
sort of sitting back to back like they're having a picnic, out in the middle of a
Uh-huh.
meadow somewhere. Just a lot of fun. So very, very different types of designs, very whimsical, that type of thing. So the shop owner is actually, her name is Kristen, and she's been doing this, since 2002. So she's been around for quite a long time. And she's actually a costumer herself. She's a member of the Rebel Legion. And she decided to just take her love of the craft into her bag making. And so she's since kind of expanded out, like I said, to do all kinds of different sorts of things. And her favorite material to use is actually called marine vinyl. And that is a high quality vinyl that is intended for boat upholstery. So, it can withstand some daily wear and tear. So, she's used some leather in the past, she says, but she's really trying to, source out some things from lots of different fabric companies, hardware companies, and just kind of making just some fun clothes. So, she's got a great picture of herself on her About page, and she's actually standing in a pseudo Hera outfit at Galaxy's Edge. So very cool. So once again, check that out at BenaeQuee.com. Very fun. So we've got just one more thing here, two more things, sorry, to cover. So we've got new for this year's Halloween style Girls Crew spooky Star Wars jewelry. So there's two new sets, and we've talked about Girls Crew before quite a bit here on the show. And so there's a Galactic Treats stud set for $68 that's available in gold, rose gold, and silver. And this one just takes all of our Star Wars imagery and turns them into fun little Halloween treats. So you've got the Death Star, for example, that looks like a sucker. And then you've got some hard candy, one that says Vader on it, for example. And then little things like R2-D2 with a sheet over him. So he looks like a ghost, and just a lot of other fun things as well. So you can check that one out. And then there's a specific set that is the Crossbones Stormtrooper. And this one's a limited set, and you can pick this one up for $42. And so it is exactly as you might think. It's a Stormtrooper helmet, but it looks like a skull and crossbones. So is it Halloween? Is it pirate? I don't know. You decide. You can do it for all kinds of things. So this one's also available in gold, rose gold, and silver. So again, you can check those out at girlscrew.com. So just some fun little Halloween-y kinds of things. And then the very, very last thing that I wanted to include, just because I've never seen this before, I was looking around on the Her Universe website, which is a staple here on World Between Worlds, because we've talked about this for years and years. And of course, it's Ashley Eckstein's flagship company. And it is the Luke Skywalker lightsaber hair claw clip. I love me a good hair claw clip, and because I'm always, doing stuff and I need to get my hair out of my way, and I love hair claws. So this one is $13.52 on the website right now. Like I said, I've never seen this one before, so it's on sale for 20% off. And the details on this is exactly as you might expect. It is Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. And it's designed to basically look like his hilt, and it is 4 inches long. That's the only thing. I have thinner hair, so I don't know. It might be too much hair clip for me, but I still want it. And it's nickel-free zinc alloy, and it's just one of those things that's so different that I feel like I just need to have this. But if you head over to heruniverse.com, you can see it for yourself. So there you go. Good stocking stuffer.
Yeah. I know guys like to play with those hair clips that y'all leave lying around, but that's pretty much all I can add to the conversation on that one.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. And I've used hair claws for other things too, like keeping. I've cheated and even used them as like chip clips before.
There you go. Yeah.
If I get really, really desperate. But that's a fun one too. So, yeah, so that'll do it for this month's World Between Worlds. Thank you all for joining us for episode 940 of Podcast Stardust. And again, this episode of World Between Worlds. So, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if so, please make sure to subscribe to Podcast Stardust on your podcatcher of choice. And I'd also like to remind you that you can find all episodes of the podcast on retrozap.com. And RetroZap is also home to several other great podcasts, including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Case Files, Animanicast, Brews and Blasters, Dork Lair, Dunecast, Enjoy Stuff, Love, Death, and Robots Plus, Superhero Suite, and Warp Trails. So, as always, we greatly appreciate a 5-star rating and reviews on whatever podcatcher you use, but especially if that is Apple Podcasts, because that just bumps us up those algorithms just a little bit more. But we really appreciate it if you would share the show and your favorite episodes on social media as well. Hopefully this is one of them. Speaking of which, Dennis, what are those social media contact one more time?
Right. So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, both at Podcast Stardust. Jay has set up some Pinterest boards for the show, so we got a bunch of stuff going on over there. The show is available on YouTube and YouTube Music, just as basically a podcast episode. We don't have any video going on over there. And then if you want to look for our merch, need a t-shirt, sticker, or something like that, head over to TeePublic. We got all of our various designs available there. So go check it out.
Absolutely. All right. So, upcoming on the show this Friday, as long as we have news to cover, we will be covering the news for Star Wars, everything Star Wars. And then Monday, we will be continuing the Clone Wars rewatch once again. And on Wednesday, we have yet another edition of our Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary segment breakdown discussion with a great guest. So, you don't want to miss that one. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, may the force of Star Wars fashion and lifestyle be with you.